Canada is back on fire again, like 2023, and the problem is getting worse. Remember back maybe like a decade ago when global warming was brought up? It was something about like our planet has been warming up, and if we keep doing what we do, the world will accelerate the warming process by a whole bunch, and things are gonna go bad. Even though the topic was brought up quite a long time ago, it wasn't until recently where the public majority began to be aware of the problem of climate change. Notice how I said global warming at first and then changed into climate change? It is because people realized that it wasn't just as simple as the temperature warming up. Thus, it is more appropriate to phrase the situation as climate change rather than just global warming. As a result of not doing much when climate change was brought up a long time ago, we are finally experiencing the change by ourselves. And by we, I'm referring to people who are fortunate enough to be living in developed countries and have a relatively decent lifestyle. There is a lot of stuff that can be talked about on climate change, but I will just be focusing on wildfire. So what are wildfires? Well, to first understand the basic of wildfires, it is essentially a fire in nature that can be caused by natural causes such as lightnings, or can be caused by humans' questionable decisions in nature. California forest fires in 2020. Although wildfires may seem like a natural disaster, it is actually a common event that occurs in various parts of the world as a part of their ecological cycle. There are a few methods to control wildfires, and the techniques are actually pretty fascinating. I will not be talking about it much, but you may go check these other videos on YouTube that I found explaining how people control wildfires. While wildfires occur naturally, climate change makes it a huge problem. The effect of climate change has caused an increase in the number of wildfires as well as the intensity of the fire, mostly due to a drier and hotter conditions that allows fires to be ignited more easily. So in Canada, people can doubtlessly say that wildfires have been getting really wild in the country. The record-breaking wildfires that occurred around June 2023 were so impactful that I believe mostly everyone in the country could see and feel them. I live in this country of maple syrup, and never have I ever seen a sky this smoky for so long in all these years of living here. If you live in the northern part of the US, like in New York, then you must have seen a similar thing. I saw this time lapse of New York City just turning completely orange. It looks like an apocalypse just began, and it looks pretty cool, to be honest, to a certain extent. But it is just not something that you would want to see in real life. The bad air quality causes health issues and such. It is just not good to experience. While a lot of us may just suffer a little with some health issues concerns, to some other people, wildfires are truly the doomsday. People who live around the area of the fire will be forced to evacuate, leaving everything behind. Depending on how close the fire is, people will lose their homes, and they are at a higher risk of exposure to severe health issues, with dangers around, and sometimes even leading to the point of fatality. For a lot of people like me would see some news about these events, and see some people that lost their homes and everything. At the moment, I would feel unfortunate for these people who lost everything that was out of their control. And I'm sure that people with a decent amount of sympathy would feel that as well. But for a lot of us, we wouldn't remember about the event probably in a couple days. Yet, the people who lost everything will never forget what happened to them. The phenomenon of us forgetting about these kind of events is not because we're evil people, or as much as I hope. It is because it didn't happen to us. With how much stuff is going on with our own lives, we simply don't have enough time or effort to care about others that much. And don't get me wrong, of course there are people helping out in these situations, and a lot of people are willing to help and support by donating money and goods. I truly respect these people's work 100%. My point is, we would not care about it because it did not happen to us or anyone that is related to us. And it is just a part of people. For a lot of us, we just wouldn't care that much about others. And this is the problem with climate change. It hasn't directly affected people, and thus the problem is not taken seriously. This is a topic for another day. So why are all these important? Although we as a society certainly are more aware of the environment and climate change by now, but it is certainly not enough. At the time of writing this video, a new huge wildfire has just broken out in British Columbia. These extreme wildfires have occurred 2 years in a row now, and I can assure you it is directly related to climate change. In the end, is there something that I can do to help? The reality is there is not much I can personally do that would able to help in this situation, other than hoping that the fire will calm down soon and wishing the best to everyone that is directly affected by the fire. It feels like a repeat from 2023 all over again, and I just hope that the situation doesn't get any worse. And that's pretty much it. If you like me talking about the environment, feel free to like and subscribe. It will help me a lot. Thanks for watching. I will see you in the next talk. Bye bye.